loves, this is Amy the Color Queen, and today I'm showing you how to make your wigs bigger by adding wefts. You will need 2 wigs, you will need pins, you will need hair stuff to keep the hair in place, you will need a seam ripper or scissors, and you will need a hairbrush in case things get hairy. To start off, you put on the base wig and you pin it all in place. Make sure that it does not move an inch because we will be sewing a lot onto this base wig. Next off, you section off the wig. You need to make sure that you can see each gap in the wig. This is specifically important for thin wigs. I'm not sure how this would work with already very thick wigs. Next, you pin it in place. I recommend actual hair clips and not headbands, but my hair is short, so I don't really use hair clips very much. Next, get out your seam ripper, or in my case scissors, and start harvesting those wefts. You will be taking the threads out of each one, not the actual wig wefts, but just the threads that are attaching it to the base wig. Then you will put those onto the gaps that you see in the thin wig. And this is what your wig will look like after you've harvested a couple of pieces. Next, you ready the thread. I forgot that I wasn't in this frame, but what you do is you just thread the needle. Next, pin the wefts in place in the gaps. Next, you sew the weft in place. I just use a weaving back and forth type of stitch the whole time. It does the job, and when you get to the end of the weft, you just tie it off and begin the next one. Slow and steady is key. Just move layer by layer and you'll be just fine. And don't worry if it gets tangled, that's why we have a hairbrush. I decided to do this tutorial specifically for Yang because she has such big hair, and the wig I had didn't do it justice. And so that's why I am adding 2 wigs together. Here's the next layer, add the weft in the gap. Pin it in place. When you're happy with how it's pinned in place, just weave back and forth with that thread again. Progress of how my other wig is looking, but this is to show what it looks like when you have a weft in place and when you don't have a weft in place. As you can see, it looks much more thicker. Now in this shoot, I'm trying to show what it looks like whenever I'm sewing all the wefts in place. I'm not sure if that looks like a good job or not, but that's the idea. There's gapping, you add your weft there in between the gap. Now in this section I'm showing how I cut off each weft. I'm very careful in not actually cutting the hair part, but just where it's attached to the base wig. Cut off any excess that you don't need, add it to your wig, repeat, repeat, until you run out of wefts or you're happy with how thick it is. Alright, so we're doing a little check-in right now. I'm about halfway done with this wig. This is the only time I'm probably going to talk in this video until the end, without a voiceover anyway. Ooh, it's dark. But as you can see, it's getting thicker as I add wefts to it. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just keep on a-truckin'. You keep putting the wefts you need into the little gaps where there's gaps, like this one needs a weft in between, this one does, and this one does. And that's basically it. Really, there's not much to it. It takes a little while because this is day 2 of me working on it, but hey, if I got halfway done on one day, then I'm pretty sure it's a good time. Here's my kitty. Hi, Luna. She doesn't want to say anything. But yeah, that's my whole halfway there check-in thing. So I was supposed to check in and show you what the whole process was for the rest of the wig, but I forgot. So the wig is finished now, and I just wanted to show the inside of what it looked like when it was done. Now, I think basically you could cut these if you wanted to and just like tie it together for each one, but I'm just gonna leave it because I'm lazy and I don't want to deal with that. But that's the inside. It is very thick now that I've added all the wefts. I did not add any wefts at the top because it didn't need it, which was nice because usually I have to use every single weft ever whenever I do these. But because this is the first time I actually did it with a rose cap, which is what this looks like, it wasn't near as intense as usually with a net cap. Honestly, if you just weave in and out with your little wig thread, you will be just fine with adding wefts to a rose net. I believe in you. Look at all this hair! Oh, there you can see all that. Look at it! Oh my gosh! Adding more wefts to wigs is the way to go! And I'm gonna regret playing with it so much because then it's gonna be like a tangled mess. But then I just go like, hang on, I'll show you how like to have it not gross. You just take strands and just wind them together like this, and it keeps it from looking too gross most of the time. Sometimes, not all the time. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'm gonna have a makeup tutorial for this as well. Thanks y'all for watching on how to make wigs bigger and more fun. I will see you in the next one. Bye, loves!